Hello there and welcome to this very special session at iGaming Next Online. My name's Oisin Lunny. I'm a podcast host for Fortune 500 companies, an event MC and an occasional journalist. And it's great to be here. We're speaking about a very important topic with two very brilliant people. Now, in recent decades, of course, we've moved from this thing called the experience economy to the attention economy and even to the platform economy. But more recently, with the global adoption of mobile devices, always on 24/7, we've moved into the live economy where everything we want is available in real time immediately. And I think our progress to this world of real time, always on entertainment, our kind of progress to a species of phono sapiens, if you like, as the economist called it, is one way. For example, do you think folks who are into Spotify and enjoy it for music will ever go back to using cassettes primarily for music? I don't think so. And I think what we're going to talk about today has the same kind of seismic impact as this mega trend towards live entertainment. So what does this new normal in this real-time global environment look like for iGaming? How can you successfully embrace the challenges and opportunities of this live format in a post-pandemic world? I'm really delighted to be joined today by two iGaming pioneers who will be giving you a look at what it takes to win at live and sharing some stories and anecdotes about their own journey and giving us the inside track on what you need to do to win at live. So please join me in welcoming to the iGaming Next online stage, Edo Haitin, who is the Managing Director for Live Casino at Playtech. Hey, Edo.
Hey, Oisin, great to be here. Thank you for being with us. I think we're also privileged to have you with us on this session. So really excited. We've had so many preparations, so I feel that we are ready to go. And I've never been so excited about an interview in my life. So I'm happy to be here.
Outstanding, Edo. I absolutely love it. That's brilliant. And Mike, welcome. Mike Phelan, the gaming commercial director at Paddy Power, one of the world's favorite iGaming brands. Welcome to the stage, Mike.
Thanks, Oisin. Great to be here.
Fantastic. And bonus points for both of you pronouncing my name absolutely brilliantly. If you want to know how to pronounce my name, just listen to what Mike and Edo are saying. So guys, let's start at the very beginning. Let's go back a bit in time. Now, Mike, you've been at Paddy's for 15 years plus, I believe. So A, congratulations. That's absolutely brilliant. And B, you've been working with Edo for quite a few of those years. So I think it'd be really interesting for the delegates to hear a bit about how your collaboration started. What were the different stages of it so far?
Sure, absolutely. Well, Edo and I go back a long time. Edo's obviously been involved in the gaming industry for a similar amount of time, if not longer. And yeah, I've worked in a variety of the areas of the gaming industry over the years. So initially in poker and then in casino games and then in sports betting for a time as well. So yeah, our paths have crossed many times over the years, but more recently, I suppose, in the last kind of 6-7 years, Edo, in the live space in particular, where we've really kind of gotten to know each other really well, and you know, many trips to Riga and many conversations around the future of you know, game and content development in live casino and live gaming. So yeah, it's been a great relationship so far, and we're happy to be able to talk about it today.
Oh, fantastic. And, you know, the iGaming industry, more than most, I think, is very much about relationships, about building these relationships of trust, about working together. And, you know, you mentioned Riga there, which is, of course, a very important city. Talk to us a bit about what happened in Riga and how did this kind of affect your partnership and your collaboration?
So, first of all, as Mike said, I think we know each other for almost 10 years. So I think I started my first iGaming job was at Belarus, and my first project there was actually with Paddy Power. We had back then Paddy Power Roller Casino app, which was quite revolutionary at the time. I think Mike was already at the neighborhood of this project as well, and since then, you know, we've on and off known each other. And as Mike said, you know, last few years, the collaboration has been closer because of the positions that both of us took. And it gives a lot, you know, coming into a live challenge of representing a brand. I think it helps a lot, first of all, to know the brand very well, to know the values, to know, you know, where it goes, where it wants to be, how it wants to be presented, where it's coming from, and also the people that are operating the brand. I think Paddy Power in specific, the people behind the brand are really, you know, setting the tone of how the brand speaks and shows itself. And I've been in love with the brand for from the beginning. So it's always fun, and to get to the point that it's just fun, that you can really work together in the same state of mind, takes that relation, I think, first, and then you can really develop it. You cannot just artificially create it. It's something that needs to come within the time and within good things, bad things, challenges. You've mentioned an evening in Riga. We spoke about it before the last World Cup, and then just to give an example of how those relations can bring into product innovation that for me as a provider, goes beyond just the service that we're giving the specific operator. So we were sitting in a restaurant in Riga one evening before the World Cup in Russia, so I think almost 4 years ago. And Mike was showing me back then, it was a very trendy app, I think called HQ, where trivia questions were asked, and there was a trivia session, and we were like, why do you guys don't do that? And I was sitting there, I didn't have a good answer. And then we just went on and did that together, actually. And the beginning was something very nice, very niche for Paddy Power around sports during the World Cup. I personally visited the game, so I still remember calling from the stands to the dealers here how to pronounce the names of the players correctly. Because not everyone are a football fan, and that allowed us to give the guys at Paddy Power a bit of an added value that served them, that first of all came from their people, from Mike at that example, but could be anyone else from the executive team over there. And it also makes the people around the brand, I think feel more responsible for where it's going, but also their knowledge of the brand and where it needs to go allows us to supply the right service as a provider. Obviously, this product has shown a lot of usability during the years, and the guys have used it, and also other clients, sorry, Mike, have used that along the years. And just recently, Mike wrote me on LinkedIn a comment that really moved my heart, because we went on and did a millionaire revamp of this. Who Wants to Be a Millionaire revamp? And Mike remembered that conversation actually from back then, and it means a lot, that people know where you are coming from as an operator or as a provider, or more than anything, as a human being in this industry, and seeing your development along there. So, I really have to thank Mike for this one, and many other things that we do around here. We take a lot of inspiration from our clients.
So
awesome. It is so much about relationships and all those great kind of partnerships that come from having that freedom and that relationship of trust to make really awesome things happen. So you kind of mentioned there that you launched, this whole new format many years ago. It's all about kind of live, real-time entertainment. How did you kind of balance aspects of that? You were talking about the brand values. How do you balance this new entertainment-led format with the more traditional iGaming elements? How did that work out? Who'd like to jump in there? Mike?
Yeah, I can take it. So, Edo and I've been speaking about this over the last couple of days. I mean, we don't even call the vertical live casino anymore. Historically, we used to call it live casino because it was very simple in its terms of replicating the blackjack and roulette and baccarat live games that were available to customers in an RNG format. Now we call it live gaming because the category has expanded so significantly. Edo talked about trivia, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? We're really excited about the launch of that, but also there's been a raft of game shows and other entertainment-driven games that are really breaking open the category. So from our perspective, what it does is it really allows us to tap into a new audience, to bring the live vertical to a huge new audience. And I think that's, from a future-facing perspective, that's the further opportunity for live, because, I think, if we think about, product and tech capabilities, we think about, I'm really excited about what opportunities virtual reality and Oculus Rift type of opportunities give us in the future. We're also thinking about telco capabilities and 5G. If video speeds can be as fast as what I'm hearing 5G capability will give us, that means, you're not going to have any latency or any kind of challenges with serving up really, really high def kind of video content. So if we can kind of think more bigger picture about the types of games that we can serve through those tech, either vehicles or hardware, as I said, with VR, the opportunities are endless.
Absolutely, and I have to expand on that. I think a lot of the things that we're doing today are still based on the core. So Paddy Power, for example, have the third generation studio with us now. I think only in my times we had 3 studios, and they are developing all the time, but still, relying on the core games that are the foundation of what used to be live casino. But today, as Mike said, it's live gaming, and sometimes it's only live. I think one of the aspects that we are trying both the operators and the providers to really aim at is that we're no longer only serving players. We're also serving watchers, for example, people that are coming to the platform, coming to the Paddy Power website, and are there not always to spend money, are there to get some kind of an experience from the Paddy Power brand, that they are a part of the community which is registered to that site. They are expecting to see certain people on the table. They are expecting to see certain vibe given to them. And the experiences that we're trying to give, whether it's trivia, which is a non-wagering concept, to other games that are based on wagering but are not pushing you to wager, those are the game shows that Mike mentioned. I think that's where we are looking at together, both operators and providers, and we are developing games for the network. But I think that the strategy of the operators really dictates that, whether it's based on sports, whether it's based on more specific games that the operator is, if it's a well-known lottery provider, for example, so it will have games of that type, or any other activity that the brand, the operator wants to basically be presented and wants to allow his players to experience. I think that's what live can give the operators today, the ability to fulfill the strategy and their target of the entertainment that their users will get. And I think we've went quite a long way from the beginning, when it was blackjack, roulette, baccarat, to also today blackjack, roulette, baccarat, but being served in many variants of these games, along with completely unique stuff that the industry is doing today.
Fantastic. So you're really leveraging technology to bake in those, the traditional experiences that people expect, but also whole new areas of experiences, like people coming and kind of joining a table to look and see what's happening. And live makes it all possible. The technologies you mentioned there, Mike, like 5G, etc. It's all changing very quickly in a very interesting way that you're both very much at the forefront of. So just quickly, let's go under the hood of what it takes to make a successful live production studio in 2021. Is there anything you want to share with the delegates about, some of the nuts and bolts under the hood of live production?
First of all, I think it's you mentioned technology. I think it's very important to respect also the low tech. Some of the best solutions that we have today are based on low technological solutions, something even from the past a little bit, that are very reliable. And I think the reliability level of live gaming is what caused it to jump a few years back in the popularity. So, as Mike said, from the internet connectivity to the video level to other solutions that stream the games to the players, but also in the studio level, whether it's a dedicated studio or any other game that we develop for the network, the reliability of it being available at the same way, 24/7, same sort of pace of rounds. If there are, stoppages, they are pretty much planned. And the ability for us to develop an experience which is so much reliable and get the confidence from the players, I think that what makes them move away from the other verticals. Sorry, other verticals, my friends in Playtech, but obviously we see that transition of players, that they prefer to go and play with other players. And, if the chat these days is very reliable, if the video, as we mentioned, and also, we have one game that we have a rotating stage. So below the stage, there is a low-tech engine that just moves it around. And it's so reliable and it's there. Probably now it will fall when I speak about it. But but those are the type of things that we need in order to supply that ongoing experience for the players.
Fantastic. And speaking of live, we are completely live here at iGaming Next Online. We're seeing some questions come in. We're going to go through our own questions here, and maybe Mike and Edo will answer your questions offline. So Mike, I wanted to come over to yourself now. Speaking as the proud owner of a pair of Paddy pants, an occasional wearer on special occasions, I love the irreverent marketing tone of Paddy, the brand voice. How do you kind of bake that in and maintain that tone of voice in live situations as well. Is there any examples?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's a key part of the history, I suppose, and the love that people have for the Paddy Power brand over the years. It's been around a long time now, since 1998, but we try and keep bringing that fun and irreverence, as you mentioned, to the activity that we do within live. I mean, Edo mentioned it there. We were on our 3rd generation studio, so the team have done a fantastic job across both Playtech and Paddy Power, and our designers are working very, very closely with the live team there to actually bring up all of the fun and kind of subtle nod elements to the strong brand moments that have stood out for people and resonated with people. So we have, Paddy Pants nods. We have Cheltenham sign in the Paddy Power sign in Cheltenham, for example, and lots of other subtle things. So when you're at the table, you mightn't actually specifically notice it first time, but when you're sitting there for 10 or 15 minutes, you're playing the game, you look behind the dealer, you might see something. Oh, I remember that. I remember that campaign from a couple of years back, and there have been so many. It's given us great fun to actually pick and choose, and the team, like I say, have done a fantastic job of bringing that to life. But I just did want to pick up at one point there that Edo mentioned about reliability and consistency with the product. I mean, over the last 12, 14 months, it's been fantastic that live has actually stayed going and has been reliable. As a primarily sports-led operator, when kind of the world entered lockdown in mid-March last year, and all sporting events ended up closing, our sporting business, as did for every other operator, shut down very quickly. But actually having that live experience to be able to serve to customers in order to deliver that entertainment experience was crucial for us. And to be able to kind of maintain service within that. I don't know how Edo did it. I'm sure it took a lot of hard work from the teams, but I do remember.
I'm not allowed to speak on how it did.
The end of March, he sent me a picture, and he has his army camp bed in his office, and he said, "Mike, if I have to spin the wheel myself, I'm going to keep this thing going." But I don't know how he did it, but it really, really showed the kind of the level of effort that goes into providing that service from his team.
That's phenomenal. Wow, that is commitment. Yeah, here is my bed. I sleep in the office to make it all happen. Brilliant. So listen, we are kind of moving into the final 2 minutes and 12 seconds of our session. So I wanted to just ask you both, like we've seen live kind of, it's already the most popular vertical in iGaming, but what do you think comes next? Do you want to jump in there, Edo?
Sure. First of all, I think, what comes next, we are going into a TV direction. If you already look now at the live lobby, see a lot of tiles. A lot of people like to call it Netflix and stuff, but I'm not sure. They are pre-recorded, we are live, so they need to go a few steps before they get to the level of availability. I'm saying it with a big smile, of course. But there is, I think that the direction eventually is of the TV from the sense that players would look to spend time and would look to spend their leisure hours more and more and more in the platforms if we do our job right. Today we see, platforms like Twitch that might go into allowing players to play as well. And we need to somehow also balance what we offer, as I said, with a watcher experience as well. So we need to make sure that people come to the live games and interact with them on more screens. So I think, one of the things that we will see is the games being offered on more platforms, whether it's VR or not, I don't know, but more screens, and the interaction would be, as I see, with much more gamified way, via almost a TV experience based on languages that would be spoken, the types of games that we would offer. So more games would be more towards niche populations, and the type of games, the type of experience that we will offer. By the way,
wonderful. Thank you. Now, I just want to give Mike the last 15 seconds to tell us what he sees in the future. Anything to add to Edo's brilliant crystal ball?
Absolutely. Edo's the expert in this space. I totally agree. As I mentioned, VR, 5G, I think bingo, absolutely, from a live perspective, is ripe for disruption. So there's lots of areas, yeah.
Fantastic. Well, listen, I'm afraid that really is all we have time for. Thank you so much to Edo Haitin from Playtech and Mike Phelan from the wonderful Paddy Power for joining us. My name's Oisin Lunny. Let's connect online, keep building the iGaming Next global family. See you next time.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you, Oisin. Thank you
Bye-bye.
very much, Mike.